friends, welcome back to Pappy's Korn Garage. It's nice to have you here again today. Today we're going to get into our Jeep Stroker project. It's been sitting on the back burner for some time now. I've been trying for pretty close to 2 years trying to get this project together. Just seems one thing after another. It just doesn't seem to want to get done. This is the puppy here we're going to be working on. And, you know, over the time I've been doing this, it's needed quite a bit of finesse, you'd say. You know, I think I've got it here and there, and then next thing you know, I either run out of time or got a part wrong or something like that. And you'll see I had an old 4.2 crank that I thought was going to do the trick, and turns out at the last minute I didn't want to go through all this trouble for something that wasn't just right. So I ended up buying a new crank so that we could get this project done. And today we're going to probably do a little bit of assembly on this. I've got a recipe that I'll share with you here in a little bit. I'll put a card up on the screen to show you exactly what I have. I was going to go through the pricing on it and whatnot, but I don't think I'm going to, because, you know, years from now somebody watching this will go, oh yeah, well, whatever. So anyhow, yeah, this is it. But I really want to talk to, you know, you young people that are out there. Maybe you're, I don't know, feeling depressed or lost or, you know, distressed out in some way. You know, I want to encourage you that lots of people have been where you are and they've overcome it, and you can too. So be encouraged. You know, understand that life is a process, that wherever you find yourself, someone else has been there too, and you know, they've learned to overcome it, and you could learn to overcome it too. It's just a matter of deciding to be a different person, right? That you can't maybe possibly change your situation, but you can change how it reacts to you or you react to it. Now, you know, all of us have been into trouble here and there from time to time in various things that we've done, and myself included. You know, here I am at 50, I don't know, something years old, and you know, I'm trying to change how I look at my life and what I do, and it's a new endeavor for me. Like standing in front of this camera, I don't have a problem talking or being engaged in this matter, but what I do have a problem with, I don't know a thing about this. I'm not a technology person. I'm not somebody who knows what editing looks like, and this has really been a learning curve for me. I'm putting myself into something and I'm screwing up left and right. So keep in mind, you know, that you'll screw some things up, but you know what? It's okay. It's very okay. You know, go out there and screw it up. You know, as long as you survive it, you can try again. It's like riding your bike, right? You crashed it the first time. If you got back on it, pretty soon you figured it out, and it's been good sailing since. Life is pretty much the same way. You know, this depression or this lostness that you have, you know, take a look around in your life. There's people that care about you. There's people that are interested. I'm interested. You can come and join us here. We'd be more than happy to be a part of your life and share with you all of my experience, meet some of my friends and whatnot, and talk about how life has been good for them. So if you're one of those young people, be encouraged. Try and stay positive and look for good influences in your life. Do what they do and you'll have what they have. If you know someone who's bright and shiny and has a positive outlook, go get near that person, talk to them, figure out what it is that they're hopeful and understanding, and try and adopt that same perspective. You know, your situation at home, it might be a little tenuous, but you know what? Time will tell. Time will pass, and you'll eclipse it, and you'll soon be in a position where you can decide for yourself. And as you soon make good choices, you'll see that your life will turn around, and you have a lot to hope for. You have a lot to do that will make your life more of a dream. All right, with that, let's get into our stroker build. Hopefully you young guys, girls are interested in Jeeps and motors and whatnot like that. I want to tell you this from the bottom of my heart. Suck it up, Buttercup, because you know what? The more you can handle, the more life will deliver. And the more life delivers, the more you'll be able to handle. So let's get in with our build and make a positive day this here. So let's get on to it. Let me show you our stroker project. With our block here, interestingly enough, this is actually an AMC block. You can see that right there. Now, for those who aren't familiar with Jeeps, American Motors was the company who bought the Jeep brand back in the, oh, now I'm forgetting. I want to say it was in the 60s, early 60s. They bought it from Kaiser Willys, I think it was. Anyhow, right about 1987, Chrysler bought Jeep from AMC. Actually, they bought AMC just for the Jeep brand, and it was a good move because Chrysler needed it at the time, and Jeep pretty much saved Chrysler for a little while. There was a few other things they had, like the K car and the minivan, but the Jeep was a huge deal to Chrysler, and it still is today. It's one of their key marks. But anyhow, this is an early AMC block, and what I'll do is I'll turn this over. You can see my board job there, but here's the date code on this, and I'll show it to you here. So that's a, come on, focus up you. So that's a 6. That's for the year, so that would be 1986. That's a 10, so that's a 10th month, which would be October. M is for fuel injected, and 9 is the day. So that would be October 9th of 1986, and a fuel injected engine. All right, so what that means is that this block is one of the first 4-liter blocks made by AMC. And this was a new mill for that vintage. I believe in 1987, this would have been 171 horsepower engine. Interesting things here. You can see up here in the water pump housing that, or excuse me, the timing chain housing that on the left here, I don't know how well you can see that on camera, but it's kind of a shiny, shadowy kind of there. So at some point, and you can see it really well right here, at some point this block was dropped and this whole thing busted off and someone brazed it back on. And it looks like it's nickel brazed, but I'm not real big on those kinds of repairs, but it was a pretty nice repair. Now, it would seem another interesting thing is that we have this tag on there, and that tag reads TAM Engine Corp. And I looked them up, and interestingly enough, it's a Canadian company that remanufactured engines. So my guess is that the people at TAM, whoever they were, whenever they redid this block the first time, someone dropped it and a guy had to repair it. And now I have it. So this is the second rebuild on this block. And this time I took it down to Bishop Buell Racing in West Covina, California. And Russ down there, he punched these out 60 over and got it in the condition that it's in now. We're not going to, well, I should say, he didn't deck it at all, so all we did was clean it up and get it ready for reassembly. But that there is the block that we're going to do with our stroker. So let me take you over here and show you the heads. So now these are both Jeep heads. The one on the left is the original head that came off of this engine, and I was going to do the port job on it myself. And the one on the right is a head that I picked up from Bishop Buell as well, some of Russ's handiwork. And the reason I did that was because I've never done it before, and I wasn't sure that I wanted to trust what I did with all of this work, because I want it to go back together and run like it should and not mess with it anymore. I've got too many projects to put something in and then need to take it apart and fix it. It's kind of going to be my daily driver for right now. So I'm interested in having what I need to get that going. But to show you, give you an idea of where I started, and it's kind of hard to see. The lighting's not spectacular in here, but you could see as we get inside that throat, you can see the work I did on that. And it's kind of hard to see in Russ's course because we have the valves in there, but you see what we're trying to do there is open that up, and one is make these match the gaskets, and the other is make this hole bigger and smoother so that the air flows a lot better. So looking over here at Russ's head, these are increased valves. They're 202s and 165. So that's going to give us better flow. But then when you look down inside the bore, let me get a flashlight so that we can see better in there. Clean that up, and that's going to flow how much better. See the valve guide bosses there are rounded off and smoother, right? So that's going to really increase flow. Some really nice work. And you can take a look at the ports on that and how they've gotten worked out back here, where you can see both of them together and you see how much different they are. Really nice work. I'm really happy with that setup. Now for you Jeep guys, you're probably interested in what head it is. This one here, of course, is the 7120. That is for you non-Jeep people, that's a mid-90s unit. And the specs that I got online, that Russ's port job on this, the head comes with valve, springs, retainer, the whole 9 yards ready to drop in, is a better flowing head than Edelbrock's performance head for this engine. So that was the main reason why I went with this one instead of another one. And it incidentally is the best flowing head of the Jeep engines. So there's my head, and we'll be putting that sucker on. All right, so now this is the original crank. This is the lightweight crank. It's a 55-pound unit. It only has 4 counterbalances. The older ones have 8, and although they're stronger, these are lighter, and generally, as I understand it, they rev better. So the problem with this crank and why I didn't use it, which is twofold, not that it's a big problem, but one is the #1 journal was just a little bit too small. That's what I was telling you earlier. You know, all of these I could have got away with plus bearings, but this particular one was just a little bit too small, and it wasn't something I wanted to risk for my daily driver. The other thing is that these 4.2 cranks, the ones that come out of the Jeep 258, is that the snout on this for the harmonic balancer is a little bit longer than the 4-liter. So you have to cut the end of the snout off to be able to set the harmonic balancer and get that proper. So that's not a big deal. We could easily do that here in the shop. Even, you know, simple tools like an angle grinder and some files and whatnot. So not a huge deal, but as I said, I didn't want to put this in compromised from the get-go. So I bought a new crank. So let's get that thing up here. Matter of fact, I just got it yesterday. So, you know, at my age, I'm finally getting to the point where I can realize some of my dreams and do those things. So that's interesting to note that those counterbalances are in different spots. But there it is. She's a beauty. Let me get some other things up here, other internals, and show you what they look like and talk about what we've got going there. All right, so here we are with our rods and pistons. What we connect up to our crankshaft that we just got. These are scat rods. These are 4.2 liter rods. No, that's not correct. These are rods with custom pistons to make the rod height work out for the proper quench on for the deck height. So anyhow, beautiful cast rods. Now I put these on a scale earlier just to see if, you know, rotating they would be balanced, and that every one of them is exactly to the gram, which I was surprised right out of the package that that's what we were going to end up with. I haven't done the pistons yet, but I'm going to do that before we assemble them. But these are Racetech pistons made by Autotech, or is it an Autotech piston made by Racetech? I'm not sure. I went on their website and I really couldn't understand who was who and which was which. But I also got these from Russ at Bishop Buell, and apparently this is a custom piston that he has specifically for this build. And they were very reasonably priced. I was surprised at the price that I could get these custom pistons for the design that we're doing. Now this engine that we're doing is a 4.7. It's like 40 cubic centimeters under 4.7 liters. Basically, it's a 284. So it's quite a bit bigger than the stock engine. But these are 60 thousandths over, and I believe we're going to end up with a 9 to 1 compression ratio. So according to Russ, that this thing should be, if I did all the hot rod things that guys do to them, I could get this at 300 pretty easily. But I'm going to do things like use the older long runner intake manifold because I want to develop more low end torque. I'm going to use the stock fuel injection system on it, and otherwise we're probably only going to, in the intake category, is set it up to have a 75 millimeter Mustang throttle body on it. I haven't sourced that, and I'm not certain that that's what I'm going to do, but I think that's the route we're going to go, because the 68 that's on it right now is too small, and throttle response won't be too good, and having a nice crisp evenly graduated throttle is really important, I think, in drivability. So when I figure out what that is, you'll see. We'll get there, but we can't completely assemble this engine until I pull the one out of the Jeep that's in there, and we're going to scavenge the accessories off of that and a few other parts. But this is our piston setup, piston rods. Now this is a full floating rod with clips, so as I understand it, the benefit of that is better oiling and more, it makes the whole assembly more dynamic, and that's better for reciprocating parts. So it helps with the piston and how it works in the cylinder. And yeah, so there we are. You're going to see me put these together and stuff them in that block. So let me take you over and show you a few of the other parts. They're all pretty much standard. There's not a whole lot that's out of the ordinary. You know, we've got, well, actually, this is kind of out of the ordinary. This is a special grind that Russ does again at Bishop Buell. He specs this cam itself. I've got a cam card here. I think I probably left it in the office. But Well, actually, by now that I remember, you'll have seen it in um, the engine recipe that, yeah, the one that I didn't do yet that I'm putting up at the beginning of this video. So, anyhow, I got too much corn going on to keep all this stuff straight. Like I said, I'm new at this. This is just a standard Cloy's timing set, brand new, you know, standard one. Melling oil pump. It's a factory version, not factory, OEM style. Nothing really special. Same thing with the lifters. They're both melling, standard lifters. We'll get those set up. And then this is a clutch. I decided to try this. It's an online special. I don't remember who it is. I've been looking all over it. I don't see any made in China. The packaging didn't say anything made in China. And as I understand it, the law is if you make something out of the country, it needs to be stamped somewhere or labeled or printed or whatever. I can't find it, so it was just an affordable set. You know, a lot of people go on about this clutch and that clutch. There you go. Like I say, I'm new at this and I lost you there. Of course, didn't figure it out until after I had gotten another 5 minutes into this thing. But anyhow, SD cards get full. And yeah, there you go. Learn, make room on the SD card before you start. Anyhow, as I was saying, that I'm pretty good at driving a clutch. So I think this USA made, I think it is. And I'm really not too concerned about, what I get out of this, because I've been driving a stick for a long time, and I think it'll serve justice. So yeah, there you go. So yeah, there's my other camera and SD card. But that's our build there. So all right, hey, I'm back in the office now. I got to the end of, well, not the end of, but realizing that my computer, it really doesn't like video files that are much more than 20 minutes. So it's going to be heavy duty for my computer, memory and stuff like that. It just gets really bogged down, and Shotcut doesn't want to work very well. So, but that's all right. This is my recipe video. Tell you, all the things I did. I did shoot some build footage that I'll include on the next one as we go through the rest of the build. Remember, next week I'm going back east, and I'm expecting to get into the garage with a young man by the name of Joe. He's a Dodge diesel fan, so we'll get to talk to him, maybe shoot a little video and put it up here, probably something short, but anyhow, we'll get some more Motorhead stuff in there, a little bit more Korn for the psyche there. Anyhow, thank you all for watching and joining us. All you young people out there, I hope you come back and join us again. I want to encourage you that no one in your situation has been there alone. Someone in the world has been where you've been. You just need to get out there, find those people, and learn what they learned and change your life. You can do it. I've got faith in you, and so does the rest of the world. You just need to go out and meet the people who are like-minded and want to see you succeed. We're here to help you succeed. Remember, tune into our Nubo channel, the Nubo network that's also on here. You can check us out online. I've got a website where I blog and do a bunch of other informative things like that. I hope you like the content we have. Please like, subscribe, and more than anything, share. We like to have people share, be a part of our lives, be a part of their lives. We're a community, and we're trying to build that community. So please prosper the group. With that, I'll talk to you here in the next week or so and get that short video out. Otherwise, tune in 2 weeks, and we'll continue on with the stroker build for the Jeep. That's it. Peace out. Have a great day. Go and be a great you.